Ancient Rome, a civilization renowned for its engineering marvels, legal innovations, and military might, also possessed a dark side, a system of justice that was often shockingly brutal. Punishment in Rome served not only as retribution but also as a powerful deterrent, a public spectacle designed to instill fear and maintain order. The methods employed were varied, reflecting the status of the condemned and the severity of their crime. From the swift blade to agonizing public displays, Roman executions were a stark reminder of the state's absolute power. They were not merely about ending a life, but about making a profound statement. Let us delve into 5 of the most brutal execution methods employed by the Roman Empire, revealing the grim realities of their justice. Perhaps the most infamous Roman execution method was crucifixion, a punishment reserved primarily for slaves, pirates, rebels, and non-Roman citizens. It was a slow, agonizing death, designed to maximize suffering and public humiliation. The condemned would be nailed or tied to a large wooden cross or stake, often left to die of exhaustion, dehydration, or asphyxiation. The process could last for days, with the victim exposed to the elements and the jeers of onlookers. This method served as a powerful deterrent against rebellion and insubordination, a stark warning to anyone who dared defy Roman authority. Its widespread use across the empire cemented its place as a symbol of Roman power and cruelty. In contrast to the prolonged agony of crucifixion, decapitation offered a relatively swift end. This method was typically reserved for Roman citizens, particularly those of higher status, who were deemed to have committed serious crimes like treason or sedition. It was considered a more honorable death, avoiding the public humiliation and prolonged suffering inflicted upon non-citizens. The condemned would kneel, and their head would be severed with a single, sharp blow from an axe or sword. While still a brutal act, its speed distinguished it from other forms of execution. Decapitation underscored the Roman legal principle that citizens, even when condemned, deserved a measure of dignity in their final moments. The spectacle of the arena was central to Roman entertainment, and sometimes, it became a stage for execution. Damnatio ad bestias, or condemnation to the beasts, involved throwing condemned criminals, often Christians or other perceived enemies of the state, to wild animals in the amphitheater. Lions, bears, and other predators were starved to ensure their ferocity. This method was a gruesome form of public entertainment, designed to thrill the crowds while simultaneously eliminating undesirables. It was a terrifying display of power, demonstrating the state's ability to control both human life and the forces of nature. The screams of the victims and the roars of the beasts created an unforgettable, horrifying spectacle. One of the most bizarre and specific Roman execution methods was poena culiae, or the sack punishment. This was reserved exclusively for the heinous crime of parricide, the murder of one's own parent or close relative. The condemned would be sewn into a leather sack along with a bizarre collection of live animals: a dog, a rooster, a viper, and a monkey. The sealed sack would then be thrown into a river or the sea, ensuring a terrifying and symbolic death by drowning an animal attack. This unique punishment reflected the extreme abhorrence with which the Romans viewed parricide, a crime that violated the most sacred bonds of family and society. It was a death designed to be both physically agonizing and deeply symbolic. Burning alive was another horrific method of execution, often reserved for crimes considered particularly offensive to the gods or the state, such as arson, sacrilege, or certain forms of treason. The condemned would be tied to a stake or placed within a pyre, then set alight. The slow, agonizing death by fire was a terrifying public spectacle. This method was not only a form of punishment but also a ritualistic purification, believed to cleanse the land of the criminal's taint. It was a stark warning against acts that threatened the very fabric of Roman society and its religious order. The screams and the smell of burning flesh served as a visceral reminder of the consequences of defying Roman law. The brutal execution methods of ancient Rome offer a chilling glimpse into a society that valued order and deterrence above all else. These punishments were not merely legal sanctions, they were public performances, designed to reinforce the absolute authority of the state and the severe consequences of transgression. From the cross to the arena, Roman justice was a stark, unforgettable display of power. Want more brutal truths from history? Subscribe to Medieval Dark and discover what happened when a gladiator refused to fight.